Hello and a very warm welcome to the first game of the SFL Season 12 preseason. Coming to you live from the Eye of the Storm in Alaska, where the back-to-back SFL champion Alaska Storm begin their quest for a three-peat of titles with a preseason matchup with the Denver Nightwings, who are trying to bounce back from a disappointing end to Season 11. Get ready for 11 games over the next 4 days as the SFL enters the home stretch in the build-up to its 12th season. I am your play-by-play commentator, Michael Trillo, joined in the booth today by Levant Mercer. Levant, it's football time again.
It's great to be back. It's great to be back here with everyone from the SFL and you especially.
We get to kick off the preseason here with Alaska and Denver, two former Western Conference foes. Remember, the SFL doesn't have conferences going into its 12th season. We've got lineups scrolling across your screen. Let's get you down to the field for the coin toss. And it looks like Alaska will get the ball first, so their talented offense that returns every single player from its Season 11 championship. Ball on the tee from Kramer Jackson. And the Denver Nightwings will get this underway. The whistle goes, and it's game on from the Eye of the Storm. Ball taken from the 5-yard line and up to the 25, making it the 26. And the Storm will start there. A nice return by Jeff Como. Let's run you through the Alaska starting offense. Quarterback Ron Cochran, running back Robert Merrill, fullback Jason Williams, wide receivers Jeff Como and Optimus Klein. First and 10 from the 26-yard line. Alaska going left to right on this first drive. Cochran, three-step drop, fires out to the far side. That pass is complete. A quick and easy 4 yards on a completed pass to Optimus Klein.
Just looks like the defense tried to jump the ball too early there. Whoever had the route probably had the right mentality, just missed it entirely and got beat by the out.
Here's the Denver defense. Safeties are Nicholas Warner and Echo Love. Corners are Matthew Lee and BJ Armstrong. And on the line, we've got Echo Love and Bailey Baca. Single back, Cochran's short drop, fires over the middle into the soft zone, and that ball hits the turf. That was intended for number 81, Jason Julian, the tight end. And it was Marty McCree, the safety, coming up to knock the ball away.
Marty McCree coming back into the league, had a year off, but came from, he played for San Francisco previously.
Had 40 tackles, 2 for loss, 4 interceptions in that Season 10 stint with San Francisco, so not a bad player, and glad to have him back in the lead. Cochran on third down, floats it out to the far side, and he's not going to get there. How close was Jose Galliano from picking up a first down? Inches away, but it's agonizingly close for the Storm, and they're going to have to punt on their first drive. The punter is June Tutu, another piece of the Alaska puzzle back for Season 12. The kick is away. And returns from the 25-yard line up to the Denver 32. That's Avery Hawk returning kicks and punts for the Nightwings today. Here is the Nightwings offense, led by quarterback Josh Miller, running back Jared McChesney, wide receiver Giacomo Jones comes over from London, Logan Keel is the other wideout, and rookie Hayapo Kinloa is the tight end. They'll start in a single receiver set either side with Miller under center. Miller hands off to McChesney, wide open, big hole up the middle, and a good 6-yard run on first down.
They're going to want a lot of production out of McChesney this season, because he was one of their highest producers on offense.
Here's the Alaska defense. Safeties Ryan Tobin and Andrew Francis. Corners Ryan Davidson and Evan Carroll. Linebacker B.J. Lovelace. And defensive ends Alex Dominguez and Kevin Bain as McChesney gets the run again. And he picks up the first down of the ball game out to the Denver 42-yard line. They're going right to left today in their black helmets, white jerseys, black pants, black trim, and navy blue.
There's a lot of contention about Bane going to his championship rivals, Alaska.
But he just makes that scary Alaska defense with Alex Dominguez all that more scary as McChesney gets the ball again and gets dropped after a gain of 4 yards.
Seems like Denver really wants to go after that front seven, knowing that they no longer have a linebacker. DJ Majesty left to go to Carolina, if I recall correctly.
2nd and 6 from just shy of the 50-yard line. Toss to McChesney off the left side, and he's run down well before the line to gain. Ryan Tobin came up and laid the hit from the safety spot, and these safeties from Alaska are aggressive. They will rush the quarterback, but that sometimes leaves spaces in behind the defense. And this time, Miller, he escapes the pressure. He gets the pass away. It's caught, but going the wrong direction is Giacomo Jones. Ends up gaining a net yard on the play out to midfield. It's still going to be 4th and 2 on a wild series of events, and Denver's going to be forced to punt.
We just have a lot of just confusion there, and that's what Bane brings to this front seven for Alaska.
They're going to go for it on 4th and 2, or maybe even just try to draw the storm off sides. And it looks like they're just going to call a timeout and punt the ball away. And I know there's a lot of contention, Levon, around the league that this strategy gets used maybe overly often. And at this point in the game, it's the first game of preseason. I honestly don't mind it. Try and get the defensive line to jump offside when they haven't been working together for that long.
I suppose timeouts in the first half don't matter so much, you know? I mean, close contests tend to be sealed off by the later portions of the game, later stages of the game. I'd rather see it, if at all, in the first half than the second.
And on to punt is Lily Long for the Night Wings, and she boots it away from just shy of the 40, and a fair catch called for and received at the 16-yard line. And now we will be Alaska's ball again. Let's take a look at Ron Cochran's numbers from their championship season. 4,354 yards, 15 touchdowns, 25 interceptions. He was only sacked 23 times. That's really good numbers from a quarterback who is tapped to be on top of the league again. And he is in the shotgun on 1st and 10 from his own 16-yard line. He's going to fire it right down the middle of the field, and it's almost picked off. It was in and out of the hands of Nicholas Warner.
We see most times in this sort of zone that the receiver up top is left alone and beats the coverage, but this time Warner reads it perfectly, sees what's happening, and jumps the route at the right time. And this is when you're supposed to play the ball. Look at this, right in front of the receiver. That's where you want to be. And instead of what usually happens on that play, a wonderful pass deflection right there.
I am seeing from the chat that I made a mistake while running down the rosters. I incorrectly said B.J. Armstrong for the Denver Night Wings name as B.J. Loveless, the player for Houston, so I apologize for that. And now a 2nd down and 10 from their own 16-yard line. This time Cochran under center. He's going to hand it off right up the middle to Williams, and Williams loses a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 11.
It's not often that you hear that. Last season, we hardly ever heard that, but right there, you know, they forced them inside. The contained man just kept them within that little small gap, had nowhere to go, and got stuffed behind the line for a loss.
And now in 3rd and 11, empty back, 4 wide receiver set. They send out plus the tight end deep down the field. What a catch in double coverage out to the 39-yard line. Jeff Como makes his first catch of the preseason, and man, it's a good one.
Just look at this here. He scoots out to his right there and just just rifles it only where he can grab it. And look at that. Just sheer size of some of these receivers astounds me. He's just towering over them. Just absolutely just outmuscles and grabs the ball with such aplomb.
Como, the tallest player on the field, 6'6", 215 pounds in his third season with the Alaska Storm. And another run plus a spin move gets 2 yards. This time Robert Merrill on the carry.
Seems like Alaska's build at least wants to go with more of a running style. They have a fullback and a running back for the first time in a while.
And last season, I remember the fullback was mostly used for blocking. He did get a couple of touchdowns as Cochran flares it out to the right side. Como makes another catch, steps out of bounds, gets 6 yards, and brings up a third and a manageable 1.
And while in preseason most teams don't necessarily game plan exactly like they would throughout the season, it does seem like Alaska is coming out with a lot of the same stuff. They are going to these out routes, they're going with these inside runs. It doesn't seem too much different.
And on 3rd and 1, this is when the halfback-fullback combination really could come into play here as Merrill gets the ball, follows the fullback, and picks up the first down to midfield.
That's basically why you have them for. Let's just, if we get a chance to look at it again, which we probably won't, but you just follow the lead blocker perfectly and just... That's what you have to do on 3rd down. Get those tough yards, move the chains.
I feel like the Alaska Storm are going to be deadly in short yardage situations, and now a offside penalty coming up for the Denver Nightwings as one of the linemen jumped early, and it looked to be only a 3-yard gain on the pass to Robert Merrill out of the backfield, so we shall see what Mighty and the Storm coaching staff want to do here. And they're going to take the penalty and make it 1st and 5.
Well, one thing that we still have that other places don't is that there are still, free plays sometimes, and you get to decide whether or not you decide to accept or decline the penalty. This time the play that they ran wasn't as favorable, so they just decided to take the penalty there.
Offset I formation, single receiver each side. This time on 1st and 5 from the Denver 45, and and it's picked off and running the other way. Clear daylight. Denver is going to score the first touchdown of the preseason on a pick 6. Put it on the board.
No, we've seen something earlier in the game where he tried to jump the route, and here we go again. He has the timing down this time, gets in front of the receiver, nabs it, and here we go. Off to the races and into the end zone. Nothing you can do about that. B.J. Armstrong.
I said his name wrong earlier, and this is how he repays me. B.J. Armstrong with the pick 6, first points of the preseason. Go the Denver Nightwings way. And Ron Cochran is not necessarily the most accurate quarterback in the league. Did have 25 interceptions last season. Mostly on his arm strength, but that time he just oversold his receiver a little bit.
Well, the past 3 seasons, since season 9, he's thrown 22, 19, and 25 interceptions respectively.
So the Nightwings in front due to their defense, and now the Alaska Storm offense back on the field, and Ron Cochran is going to have to shake off that mistake and go at it again. Kickoff coming from Kramer Jackson, one of the 2 rookies on this Denver Nightwings team. As a great return by Como out past the 30 to the 33, eventually brought down by Gary Taylor. Remember to follow us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram at SimulationFL. We are hashtag Loading Legends as we get ready for Season 12. The league and all of its teams rebranding for the upcoming season. And I gotta say, Levant, all these looks are great. Both of these teams and the league itself, and Cochran throwing over the middle. He's not afraid to go long, and this time he's got an Optimus Clyde, 28 yards on his second catch of the day.
You know who looks good after throwing the interception? Ron Cochran here. Let's just look at this here. Comes back, rifles it over again, and just gets it to Klein like nothing happened. That's what looks good.
Yeah, that's a veteran quarterback move right there. He doesn't let the interception phase him. He doesn't care that he gave up points. He knows what he needs to do. He comes out and makes the throw. I formation. This is the exact yard line of the field where he threw the pick six on the previous drive, so they're going to run it to Robert Merrill. He's got an opening, and he's going to pick up 7 yards.
Merrill could be a little bit of a dangerous weapon for them this season. Moved over from receiver to running back, and you're going to see a lot of elusiveness coming up the middle like that. You're going to see a lot of use on the check down as well.
Looks like everybody's pressed up close to the line of scrimmage on the Denver defense. It's a pitch to Merrill. Oh, and Merrill's going backwards, lost 4 yards on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd and 7. Great read on the defensive end that time by Nicholas Warner.
You were saying earlier how Alaska's secondary is not afraid to come down, or apparently Denver wants to respond with exactly the same, sending Warner down on the blitz, and there it worked.
Now 3rd and 7, going to trust the arm of Cochran again. 4 wide receivers set up, 3 to the right, and a single left. Cochran alone in the backfield, and he's got a lot of time, and now he has no time. The ball is knocked out of his hand as he tried to throw it. Bandito, an immediate suggestion for the all-name team, knocks the ball away, and Alaska's going to have to punt.
Well, like a thief in the night, he just slipped through the right tackle there and just got to Cochran.
2-2 on for his second punt of the game. He'll punt from just about his own 45, looking to pin the Nightwings deep. As we've got 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Oh, that's a fantastic punt down to the 4-yard line. Great fielding there. Ramel Hernandez normally plays cornerback. This time he's on special teams duty, and he pins the Nightwings in the shadow of their own end zone.
You know, that's always absolutely nice to see. I always love to see when gunners actually don't overrun the ball for once. That's something we see a lot, where they just almost field it and then run it into the end zone. He didn't there.
Now from the 4-yard line, hand off to McChesney. He's got a lane left, and he's going to get about a yard, fall forward, and make it 2. As he was tackled there by Ryan Tobin. And Tobin looks like he's playing the spy, the running back role. That's his second tackle on McChesney of the game.
I'll keep an eye on that as the game progresses.
Now 2nd and 8 from the 6-yard line. Single receivers each side, another handoff to McChesney, and this time he's bottled up and driven backwards. He'll lose a yard. Chris Mack was the lead defender there to make the stop.
The entire defensive line on that play, and this is probably why they have so much influence on that line, just absolutely dominated and mauled at the line of scrimmage there, allowing him through.
Here's a pitch, strong side. McChesney can't pick up the first down. He couldn't even get past the line of scrimmage. Andrew Francis, the other safety this time, brings him down, and the field position game works to perfection as the Alaska defense holds, and Lily Long is going to punt out of her own end zone.
I feel like they were a little too conservative on that last drive. They probably should have at least tried to pass short on 3rd down, and now they're stuck like this.
Oh, this is not the greatest punt in the world. It's going to be inside the 35 at the Denver 33-yard line, and that's where Alaska will take over. 1 minute and 3 to go in the first.
Well, when you don't usually have your space as a punter or a place kicker, sometimes you just can't generate enough power. She couldn't run up to the ball like she's used to, and just absolutely had no power on the leg there.
Cochran under center from the Denver 33-yard line. Cochran short drop up plenty of time. Now he dumps it short. And a good pickup of 5 yards to Optimus Klein, who came on the late crossing pattern.
They're just taking their usual methodical approach upfield. They're going, and Alaska's probably just absolutely unworried about what happened early.
Now I formation with Williams and Merrill in the backfield. And here's the fullback dive, but there was nowhere to go. Fantastic defensive line play. Williams eventually had to bounce it outside, and he was met by number 24, Matthew Lee. Now 3rd and 5. This is the 3rd straight offensive possession for Alaska, where they've had a 3rd down on their first set of downs of the possession, and they're going to give it to Williams, and he can't quite get there. Great tackle, Nicholas Warner, preventing the Alaska 1st down and making this a field goal range try from the 24-yard line. And that'll actually bring us to the end of the 1st quarter. Denver 7. Alaska's going to set up for the field goal when we come back. This is the SFL Preseason on YouTube, presented by APM Music. Stay with us. Michael Torello, Levant Mercer back at the eye of the storm in Anchorage, Alaska, as Aaron DeHood steps up for the kick, and it is right down Main Street from 41 yards. That's his first kick of his SFL career, as he is the only rookie player signed to the Alaska Storm during the offseason as an undrafted free agent. On the Denver Nightwings side, their kicker Kramer Jackson is also a rookie, and also Hayapo Kinloa, the tight end, are also seeing their first taste of SFL action today. Kickoff is good from DeHood, and taken in the end zone by the Nightwings return man, Graham Canyon, and he'll bring it out to the 21-yard line. And despite the fact that they have the lead, Levant, the Denver offense has been kind of anemic so far. What have you seen that they can do to improve?
I honestly don't see too much wrong. They're just sticking to the running game. They're probably sticking to it too much, but they probably need to give Josh Miller more opportunities to throw the ball. But I don't think they're doing as bad as you think.
Handoff, McChesney, and McChesney grabs 7 yards right up the middle on 1st down. A big hole for him to work with. Great job by the offensive line there. And McChesney's been getting a workout here through the 1st quarter in a bit.
Well, that's just generally, your standard way of playing football. The old school adage is that you run the ball to open up a pass. Well, that is what they are doing here. I'm not necessarily so worried about how they're proceeding through the first half.
High formation, 2nd down and 3. Miller changes the play at the line. And Miller going to throw, immediately under pressure, spins away, and down he goes, back at the 22-yard line. And Drew Francis with the sack.
And that might just be why. Just look at how absolutely wide open he was left there. Just cut right through the guard and straight into Miller. No regard for human life on that play.
Safety blitz worked to perfection. Now 3rd and 9, passing situation. And here we go. Pass is short of the line to gain. That pass is caught by Andrew James White, but he is nowhere near the 1st down marker. In fact, he only will gain 1 yard, and Denver's going to be forced to punt again.
That might just be the reason why they're having so many struggles on offense, is simply whenever they do decide to pass the ball, they're just getting pressured so much that Miller has no time to throw.
Now that's what this Alaska defensive line does, and with the addition of Kevin Bain coming over from Tallahassee, it's even worse for opposing quarterbacks. I don't know a quarterback in the league that is looking forward to facing the Alaska Storm this season, because they know they're going to get hit, and they're going to get hit a lot, as Jeff Como returns the punt up to the 44-yard line.
I might have an answer for you, but it's a bit unrelated to the game, so I won't have it. It's probably Tom Pepper.
Alaska down 7-3, looking to take the lead on this drive. They'll start from their own 44-yard line, going right to left. Pitch, Robert Merrill barely had received the ball before he was shouldered to the ground with authority by Bandit Bandito. He makes his second tackle of the game.
Bandito, once again, just absolutely just splitting through the offensive line, not giving them any holes to run through.
Short drop for Cochran. He'll throw. It was almost intercepted again. And if that had been picked off by Echo Love, that probably would have gone to the house as well. Alaska's lucky that was just batted to the ground.
Denver's looking very aggressive on how they want to play balls, and so far it's been working out. But against Cochran, he might finally, time his routes perfectly to the point that stops working.
3rd down and 14 coming up now. Cochran, plenty of time, throws over the middle, wide open behind the defense. 15, 10, 5, and almost down to the 5, stopped at the 9. A tremendous effort at the back end by Nicholas Warner to stop Jose Galliano from streaking into the end zone. He was wide open on a busted coverage.
And there it is again. A player tries to just try to do anything they can to get a hand up there and just left the receiver all alone. And as I said, this was bound to happen some point. If they keep playing balls aggressively like this, they're going to lose someone.
Echo Love was the linebacker that almost got a hand to it, but it fell into the arms of Galliano, and now setting up Alaska in the Simulation Football League red zone for the first time in the game. And Cochran going to roll to the left. He's going to throw to the left, and he's going to hit Optimus in the face. And after he had gone out of bounds, so maybe not the best play call there.
I just feel like he's trying to adjust the timing of his passing, just knowing that Denver is coming out extremely aggressively.
Second down and goal now from just inside the 10-yard line. Cochran going to pitch to Merrill. Merrill breaks tackle and then gets hit behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 10. B.J. Armstrong with the eventual tackle.
Well, so far, the unsung heroes for Denver in this game have been the secondary. They've been involved in as many plays on defense as we could count.
Now on 3rd and goal. This is where you could really use some of Ron Cochran's arm strength, and he's going to float it short. And Galliano did a good job getting them to the red zone, but he cannot get them into the end zone as he's tackled 4 yards short of the dark blue paint. And now, Aron DeHood, as I correctly say his name this time. Thank you to those of you in the chat. It's still preseason for us two up here in the booth. Will attempt his second kick of the game. And it is a chip shot that goes right down Main Street, 20 yards on the kick, and Alaska is only down 1. It is 7-3. As we get set up for the next drive, and if Denver comes up empty on this offensive possession, I know it's preseason, I know the coaches are really not running their best game plans for this game. It's more that the players can get a run out, a chance to hit somebody other than their own teammates before the season starts. But in terms of this game, even though they're leading, it feels like they're behind in terms of everywhere else.
There is something called, game tempo. There's a sort of tempo, and they're sort of behind the tempo right now. They're just giving possessions and chances to Alaska.
First down and 10 after the return from their own 21-yard line. I formation with McChesney Dotting. Miller, handoff to McChesney, and he's got really nowhere to go. Eventually tackled by Nate Bryant.
Not every turnover, to continue from the last play, has to be forced. As long as Alaska continues putting Denver in 3-and-out situations, they're going to keep getting the ball back.
Now a receiver each side, McChesney alone behind Miller. On 2nd and 10, Miller to throw. He throws out to the near side. That pass is complete and good for 7 yards. Complete to Logan Keel, who makes his first contribution to the game.
Also, last season, the Nightwings were 18th in scoring offense. So they were, anemic last season. They seem to be coming out in this preseason game about the same, but we'll see how that changes.
Denver trundled their way to a disappointing 3-9 record as McChesney tries to fight off a tackle and didn't get there. Comes up 3 yards short of the first down, and it looks to be another 3-and-out from the Denver Nightwings offense, or the Alaska Storm defense, whichever way you look at it.
And it just seems in this case, the game plan now, as you've alluded to earlier, does seem a little too conservative for the situation they now find themselves in.
Ooh, that punt was almost blocked, but Long gets it away. Catch by Como, and he's dropped right at the 32-yard line. Good tackle there by Osiris Pelican. Quick chat shout-outs: Alex Dominguez, Denver Nightwings, Dab is Davis, Colin Northrup, Joshua Williams, Nathan Rita, Mighty RX, Ashley Jackson, Warhammer 62, BJ Armstrong, and everybody else who has joined us on the Simulation Football League Network on YouTube for this opening preseason game of the Season 12 2019 calendar year. This first pass from Cochran to Como is good for 4 yards, but Cochran did take a mighty big shot at the end of that play.
But it isn't like Denver is slouching in terms of their pressure and their front 7 presence so far. We had Echo Love make a play. We have Bandito making 2 tackles. We have Attack almost making a tackle there.
2nd down and 6, I formation for Alaska. Cochran throws far side. That pass is caught, and sliding close to a first down is Jeff Como. He came up just short, but a 3rd and less than a yard situation coming up, and this is when you use the Merrill-Williams combination to pick up those short yardage.
I just feel like this is the 3rd time they've been shorted on distance so far in this game.
Offset I, looks like they're going to run power right. Yes, they are. Running around the outside. Oh, no! Robert Merrill didn't get there. He was swallowed up by the black hole that is this Denver run defense so far today. And June Tutu is going to come back on the field to punt.
Well, this showcase the type of game we're having so far. It's a bit of a defensive one. It's a grindy game that we're going to have, or at least seeming to.
4 minutes to go in the first half. Nice punts and no return to speak of for the Nightwings. They'll start at their own 28. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram at Simulation FL for all social medias. Be sure to never miss a moment of SFL action. Jared McChesney, 10 carries on the day. He's been the main offensive product for the Nightwings, and he's going to get the ball again, run right up the middle, and get no yard. Alex Dominguez makes a tackle. He was there along with Chris Mack.
Just seems as this game has gone along, they've changed their defensive packages, their blitzing packages up front, and now they're really getting at McChesney. They're probably going to start forcing Miller to start throwing some more balls.
We got to go I formation again on 2nd down and 10. Here's the pitch to McChesney, and he gets a burst of speed and gets 3 yards before being brought down by a combination of Andrew Francis and Ryan Davidson.
It just seemed to have started that run going backwards a little bit, trying to assess the situation, and salvaged. Not really gained, but it feels like he salvaged 3 yards there.
And now another 3rd and long. It seems that it's come up a lot today for Denver, and now Miller going to have to use his arm. Fires a rifle down the sideline that's intercepted at midfield. Taken away by the Alaska defense, and the misery compounded for Josh Miller and the Denver offense as Kingston Paul grabs that one out of the air and gives the ball back to Cochran and company.
Just had the presence of mind to come off his man and just, as a defender, like I said before, you always want to be ahead of your receiver. He got off his man, ended up in front of his receiver, and made the grab. That's all you can ask for.
Just inside Denver's side of midfield, they flare out to the far side to Jason Williams, picks up 6 yards, and that's a play we saw a lot last year out of Alaska. Fullback pitch out of the backfield, picking up some big yards on the outside.
Well, when you have a receiver like this, when you have just man mountain out here grabbing passes and able to bowl over the defenders and also have soft hands, that's what you need out of the backfield sometimes, you know.
2nd down and 4. Cochran under center, 2 receivers left, single right. And Cochran's going to do the delayed handoff to Williams, and Williams gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no further, as Heath Bars, another candidate for the all-name team, makes the tackle. Man, Denver's got 2 of them already today.
Yes, and not only that, but that the unsung members of that defensive line have really shown up to play today.
Now 3rd and 4. Will Cochran use his arm? Yes, he will. He's going to pitch it to the near side, and Klein made the catch, but he was out of bounds. Bring it up 4th down, so Denver's defense, after giving up a pick, gets a 3 and out and forces 2-2 to punt.
Well, the one positive we can say for Denver out of this game is their defense is definitely keeping them in it, and that's a very high order to try to keep, you know, Cochran and co. contained.
2-2 punts again from his own 45. This could be good field position, and oh, he's done another good special teams play. No! As we hit the 2-minute warning, Denver will start from their own 20-yard line as the ball barely crossed over the end zone. This is the Simulation Football League Season 12 preseason on YouTube. We're glad you joined us here on a Friday evening. Michael Torillo, Levant Mercer in the booth from the eye of the storm in Alaska. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Denver 7, Alaska 6. Delayed handoff to McChesney. He's got some running room. He breaks the tackle, and he's going to get 8 yards. That might be his best run of the night before he's stopped by Andrew Francis.
Alaska would have to have been a little worried if he would have not have been wrapped up and stuck where he was. Probably would have broken free for even more.
And now this is something that Denver really hasn't experienced in this game. Short yardage situations, and McChesney runs through it like a hot knife through butter, picks up a 1st down at the 30-yard line.
That's generally what an offense like this would like to do. They would like to keep themselves in short situations. They just haven't been getting McChesney the right amount of blocks just to get him some space.
Ace Ebb says it's nice to have the SFL back. We agree, and it's 1st down and 10 Denver. Here's the pitch to McChesney, running hard into the teeth of the defense and picks up 4 yards.
Well, let's see if they continue the momentum of this drive. They're starting to get into more 2nd and medium, 3rd and short situations. That opens up the playbook for different types of short passing plays as well.
Miller looking downfield, floats it in there. What a catch past the 50-yard line. Great grab. Couldn't tell who made that catch, but props to the receiver that did, and now Miller pumps, hit as he threw, one-handed grab, out past 30 inside the 25, timeout Denver with 12 seconds to go in the half. Holy cow, what a sequence of plays.
Right there, I feel like this pass went to Kinloa, and just look at the difference having a new toy he has here. Just one-handed grab, just absolutely even just mocked the defender there, showing him the ball, and just muscled through for some tough yards after the catch as well.
That is how you make a statement as a rookie in your first catch of the preseason. And what a throw by Josh Miller. He was halfway on the ground when he released the ball, and now it's a first chance for the rookie Kramer Jackson to try and kick. This could be going to be a 40-yard field goal to extend the Denver lead going into halftime. The kick is away, and it is no good. He missed it wide to the right.
And that's not something you want to see out of your first-round pick. Yes, they used the first-round pick on a kicker, and that is something you simply cannot do if you're trusted with that much responsibility being that high of a draft pick.
All right, that catch by Hayapo Kinloa on the previous drive was worth the price of admission for this preseason game alone. That was incredible. And despite the kick from Kramer Jackman, I've been calling him Kramer Jackson the whole time. I do apologize as Robert Merrill gets the carry. Alaska calls their first timeout of the half, 3 seconds to go, and it looks like Ron Cochran is just going to take a shot to the end zone.
With the talent base that he has around him and the type of trust that he has in these receivers, I don't see why not.
Trying to give the crowd here in Alaska something to cheer about going into the half. Not been a great offensive game if you like that sort of thing, but great if you love fantastic defense. And it looks like they're just going to run the clock out. They've decided to not go for the Hail Mary. Clock hits zeros on the first half. Denver on a pick 6 by B.J. Armstrong leads the Denver Nightwings into the break, up 7-6 over the defending SFL champion Alaska Storm. We'll be back after the break. This is the Simulation Football League preseason on YouTube. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Eye of the Storm in Anchorage, Alaska. Preseason game number 1 of 11. Over the next 4 days, we're on to the second half as the kick is away from Aranda Hood. And just kneeling it in the end zone is Graham Canyon. As Denver will start from their own 20-yard line. Michael Cirillo, Levant Mercer, back with you here for the second half of this game. Denver currently leading Alaska 7-6. And Levant, if you love defensive football, this is the place to be.
Yeah, but if you're Denver, you really want to get started early in this drive here to get the second half started.
McChesney on the carry. He'll lose 2 yards immediately. Driven to the ground by Kevin Bain. He makes his first tackle of the contest. The former Tallahassee Pride member was sick of losing to Alaska, so he said if you can't beat him, join him, and traveled across the country to join his championship foe. 2nd down and 2. Josh Miller in the shotgun. Delayed handoff to McChesney, and he's losing more yards. This time he lost 2 more, and Kevin Bain makes a tackle on consecutive plays.
It just seems like second verse, same as the first. They're going to keep going with the running game, and it just seems to be getting worse.
Josh Miller's got to go to the air here. They're backed up to their own 16-yard line. 14 yards to go to get the first down. Miller stands in there, pressured. Oh, he shrugs off a tackle, fires down the field. Wide open receiver. Goodbye, Giacomo Jones. He's hauled down at the 20-yard line of Alaska. Oh, my. You wanted offense? There's your offense.
Well, sometimes you just got to get the team put the team on your back, get somebody off your back, and run them all the way back. Down the other side of the field goes Giacomo Jones off of a great evasive play by Josh Miller.
Josh Miller showing some great athleticism to escape the rush, then fire downfield. Ryan Tobin ran down Giacomo Jones to prevent the touchdown. But now, this is the first Denver snap from inside the SFL, presented by APM Music. Red zone for the first time today, and McChesney grabs 3 yards on a run up the middle.
That's one of the few things as a defense you have to watch out for, is sometimes you get lulled into a safe sense of security, and then something like that out of the blue happens.
I formation, 2nd and 7. Pitch to McChesney, running right. He's going to get the outside. He's got the edge, and he's got a first down and goal inside the 5. And Ryan Tobin, again, a solo tackle to prevent a touchdown.
I don't know what Vega told this guys at halftime, but just look at this. They're coming out with such fire. They're getting their blocks off the edges. They're playing with a little bit more ferocity, a little more agency, a little more quickness to their play.
And usually you don't see a lot of those pitch plays in the regular season because they don't have a very high percentage completion rate or percentage yards rate. But right there, you can see that they have a huge upside as McChesney gets back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and goal from the 4 as Evan Carroll made the tackle.
Also in a league where, a lot of the weight is put on the front 7, linebackers and defensive line tend to just dominate these offensive lines and don't give enough time for plays to develop. 2nd and goal.
Oh, Miller tried to float it to the end zone looking for Hayapo Kinloa. And Kinloa could not come up with the grab. Maybe looked like a smidgen of a hold there, but no flag forthcoming, and now 3rd and goal.
Just tried to put a little bit too much mustard there. He just needed a little ketchup. That's all he needed.
Now, what do you do here? Do you go for the run or do you go for the pass? That's the question plaguing Josh Miller and the rest of the Denver offense right now. Miller changes the play at the line. He'll go for the pass. Short drop, steps into the pocket. Jump pass to the end zone, and it's picked off. Points denied by the Alaska defense.
I just feel like in this situation, understanding that there's nobody downfield to throw to, you should have just thrown it out of bounds. Or really, if you really look at how that play developed, he had enough of a lane to risk himself running. Did probably not the best thing. Tried to force the ball in there and just made a mess of it.
Andrew Francis with the pick. And now, Ron Cochran and the Oscars offense back on the field and straight back at the Denver defense's throat. 20 yards and a first down on the first play from scrimmage. You're going to make that 18 yards up to the Alaska 38-yard line.
Just look at the difference of composure here. Man in his face, a little bit of a mixed combo package in front of him, and still gets his open man by just leading his receiver, you know, just maybe a yard or two ahead of him. Put the ball only where his receiver can grab it, and made, you know, and just made a nice play.
Optimus Klein has basically caught everything that has been thrown his way so far this game, including that catch over the middle. Now from the 38-yard line, here is Cochran's short drop, flares it out to Merrill. Merrill's got a blocker in front of him and running room along the sideline. Will pick up a first down and more up towards past midfield to the Denver 47-yard line.
And this is something that I feel Alaska is going to actually implement in their offense this season. They moved Merrill to running back just to do things like this. You know, if you have a good receiver and you want to incorporate them more in you know, short passing plays, you could just put them in the backfield and have them do that.
Andrew Holmes was the blocking tight end on that play. Here is Cochran, stands in, throws short, and just a 1-yard gain on the little dump pass to Merrill out of the backfield.
It honestly gives Alaska a lot of options with how they want to implement their offense. You know, they could run out of the backfield. They know they have two backs they could throw the ball to. It just gives them more of a multifaceted offense.
Handoff up the middle on 2nd and 9, and 2 yards picked up by Merrill that time, as Echo Love made the stop, the undrafted free agent signed in the offseason.
And seeing him involved in a lot of these inside linebacker blitzes, this time he gets through the gap as he should and makes a stop.
Cochran stands in, plenty of time, throws, tipped, and incomplete. Echo Love again. He maybe has had the case for having 2 interceptions today, but still no picks to his name, but another good knockdown and forces Alaska to punt.
You could see the difference between how even coverage linebackers and members of the secondary play the ball. Like, he doesn't seem as confident trying to latch onto it there, and he's just continuing to drop it. But the deflection is good enough on this drive.
So the interception in the end zone does not immediately hurt the Nightwings. They're going to get the ball back, albeit at their own 20-yard line, as the kicker, June Tutu, outkicked his kick coverage. And Denver will start at their own 20. That last drive from the Denver Nightwings, yeah, there was one big play that got them a bulk of their yardage, but it's more like what we need to see from the Nightwings going forward, wouldn't you say?
I'd say so, yes.
From the 20-yard line, McChesney on the delayed handoff, and he had a hole there, but it was quickly closed up before he could run through it. Good tackle by Jimmy Menjivar.
Just like to see a little more out of McChesney in the passing game. You know, get him involved with some screens, get him involved with some checkdowns, swing him out right, left. Just change up a bit of the short distance offense if they want to play this way.
No yards gained on first down, 2nd down, and 10. 5 minutes, 20 to go, 3rd quarter. Handoff to McChesney. McChesney breaking a tackle, bouncing it outside and getting 11 yards and a first down.
Or, you know, you could just not do that and just follow your blockers all the way through and You know, when you get your edges sealed, right, like here, and also there, when that block was key to that play, you get McChesney out free. And if the Denver Nightwings can get more of those sealing blocks, critical blocks off the edges, they can spring them free. They just need to get them.
This defensive line for Alaska, notoriously hard to block in the run game, but that time the Nightwings proving it can be done. This time a short check down to the outside. That pass caught by Steve Aoki, the fullback. He'll pick up 3 yards on first down.
That's more.
The first...
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's more the type of plays that I would like to see being thrown to McChesney.
Well, they made the decision. They're going to have to live with it. Now 2nd down and 7. Short drop, another check down, this time to McChesney, and McChesney's got nowhere to go. Run over by 3 sky blue shirts, including Dominguez, Menjivar, and one other player I can't quite see. It was Evan Carroll was also in there. Now 3rd and 7. Last time there was 3rd and long. They got about 80 yards and into the red zone at the other end. Let's see if they can pull off something similar as a pass down the middle of the field. It is caught! First down! Past, oh, it's not past the 50, up near the 50. Logan Keel grabs it for Denver. Another fantastic last-ditch effort throw from Josh Miller picks up big yards for the Nightwings.
We've seen both outcomes of those sorts of plays, but at least Josh Miller knows how to keep plays alive. And that time, he had just a couple more seconds to find Keel for his first integration into today's game. He's made throws
while getting hit. He's made throws while jumping. He's made throws while doing a squat. Like, Josh Miller, he can throw from any position. That time McChesney lost a yard, couldn't find anywhere to run. But, you know, in a realistic situation, Lamont, you would want your quarterback to have a lot more stability in the pocket and not have to make those amazing plays every other snap. 2nd down and 11 now. Miller to throw, short drop, moves in the pocket. This time he's going to go down. Nobody open downfield, and a sack comes through. And this time, it is 78. Gerald Chavez, his first sack of the game.
Well, sometimes you just don't have the luxury to have that sort of time. And against this defense, it's really hard. So for Josh Miller, he just needs to keep plays alive.
3rd down and long again, this time 14 yards to go, and Miller, nowhere to throw the ball that time. He's dropped back at the 36-yard line, and Alex Dominguez, big, sexy, welcome to the game.
Well, you know this was forthcoming eventually. You just knew eventually he will come through and just absolutely devastate. It's just a matter of when with this guy sometimes.
I remember we called the game, I think it was Alaska and Vancouver last season, where Dominguez had 5 sacks in the first half. He's been a little quieter today, but he still showed off that devastating speed and quickness for a big man on that play.
He just barrels down on you so quick. You'd be amiss to actually think he's a defensive tackle. He has that edge speed, that plus speed you want to see in a premium rusher like that.
Now let's not get ahead of ourselves. The Denver Nightwings are still ahead in this ball game, 7-6, a minute 41 to go, 3rd quarter, as the Alaska offense has not put pen to paper so far. And this time, a run to Williams, the fullback, shrugs off one tackler and gets 3 yards before being eventually dropped by McCree.
This is one of those games that if the Denver defense can bend and not break and give their offense just that one moment of opportunity to have another big play like they did earlier in this half.
Cochran fires far side, pass complete. Optimus Klein rumbles forward, first down up to the 46-yard line, approaching midfield, and another catch for Klein.
They could allow plays like this sometimes. All they have to do is just not break, give their offense another opportunity to probably break a big play and score. That would be their game plan from here if I were them.
Well, it's all in the execution now on both sides of the ball. As Alaska has a first down approaching midfield, here's a check down to the far left side, and that only goes for 2 yards before being snubbed out by Deontay Phillips.
Secondary is doing a great job of keeping the outside passes covered and forcing Cochran to just continue to throw to outs and short wheel routes like he has been.
Cochran on 2nd and 8, pressure coming, hit as he threw, and the ball falls harmlessly to the turf. Deontay Phillips again was in the vicinity, and Optimus Klein was unable to come up with the wobbly pass.
Once again, a testament to just how much fire everyone on this defense has been playing so far today. It's yet another contribution from a new member of the Nightwings.
Now on 3rd and 8, Cochran has gotten out of these kind of situations many times. Let's see if he can pull it off again in a 4 wide receiver setup. He'll throw down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete, just out of the hands of Jeff Como.
That right there, I feel like was thrown just as well as he could have. It's just sometimes you just don't get there as a receiver. He was just one step off and just couldn't make a play on the ball.
June Tutu again has gotten a little bit more of a workout than he probably would have liked to today. I think both punters have. And taken from just outside the 10-yard line, no real where to run, and to the 14 is where Avery Ha will take the ball, and Denver starting deep in their own territory again, as Josh Miller is still looking for that consistency on offense against this Alaska defense.
He needs to just get his tools involved. He needs to get Keel open. He needs to find Keel open, Jones or Kinloa, and just start trying to manage the game.
Here's McChesney on a run, and he's immediately bottled up and dropped for a loss of 2. Dominguez in there on the tackle, and also Chris Mack was involved.
But with this kind of tempo, if you're them right now, you just want to manage the game, probably just get into field goal range, just milk some of this clock, and just keep relying on your defense. You don't want to have to, but you might.
And they have reached the end of the 3rd quarter. The score has not changed since the end of the 2nd. It's still Nightwings 7, Storm 6. This is the Simulation Football League on YouTube. Stay with us. 11 minutes to go in this one. Back here in the eye in Alaska, McChesney gets the ball up the middle, gains the 2 yards he lost on first down back. It'll make it 3rd and 10. Michael Trevillo, Levant Mercer in the booth for you as we kick off 4 days of preseason action. Let's get you up to date on what's happening this weekend in the SFL. Coming up right after this, 6 Central, 7 Eastern, is Las Vegas at Chicago with Chris Curtis and Easy Temple on the call. Now, later tonight, it's the Tallahassee Pride and the San Francisco Sharks with Cam and Steven, and now going long and tipped and intercepted. 2nd interception of the game for Alaska, and they're going to have fantastic field position inside the 25, down to the 23-yard line, and that pick was secured by Jimmy Menjivar.
This right here is just a key example of trying to go for it all in one play. Undersold his receiver and straight into the hands of Menjivar. And now Alaska has prime field position to change the score line and change the course of this game.
now inside the field goal range of around the hood. But you know that Alaska wants to put it in the end zone for the first time in the game. Cochran moves to the pocket, throws, and it's incomplete as Jason Julian got rocked as he tried to catch the ball.
Well, it's particularly difficult for the Denver Nightwings defense now, and they will just try to manage to keep them to 3 if they can.
This is exactly the situation, if you're a Nightwings fan, you didn't want, because the offense doesn't look like they're going to score. And now you're in a situation where they'd have to win the ball game, as here is Williams, and Williams didn't get anywhere. He actually lost a yard, hit in the hole that time by Landon Mack.
Well, we've seen this many times before. Alaska seems to have a very, slow and methodical approach to the game, and then Cochran or Williams or someone starts just devouring the defense.
3rd and 11 now. Cochran stands at his own 30-yard line, flushed, throws, and overthrew everybody, and it almost looked like he was trying to throw it through the uprights. And it's going to be 4th and 11, and out comes the Hood.
Well, that's one way not to score points, but it does at least keep the ball in a very safe place, which is out of the reach of anyone.
Well, he's probably it's probably good that Cochran threw that ball away, because the receiver he was aiming for was double covered in the end zone. So here is the Hood 40-yard attempt. Kick is away, and it's right down Main Street from 40 yards. The Hood, a perfect 3 for 3 on the night, and the Alaska Storm take a 9-7 lead.
It is at this point that Jackman's earlier miss is now put into question for Denver, because they would have still been ahead by 1 if they had those points.
It's all on the Nightwings offense now. Josh Miller, Jared McChesney, and the rest will have to win this game on their terms. With 9 minutes to go in the ball game, Alaska up 9-7. They take their first lead of the contest, as Canyon brings this one out to the 25, and that's where Denver will start their next drive. Shout-outs Denver Nightwings, Davis Davis, Blue Tiger, Justin Jones, Joshua Williams, Mighty RX, Jason Chioki, and everybody else watching us on the SFL Network on YouTube. Almost 60 of you watching right now for a preseason game. You all are amazing. Thank you for joining us on a Friday afternoon in December. And McChesney looked like he got caught on his fullback there, couldn't get any headway, and he was dropped for a loss by Kevin Bain.
Kevin Bain so far has been outperforming his high-profile teammate so far today.
That's his 3rd tackle. Doesn't have a sack, though. Dominguez owns the only, well, not the only sack for Alaska, but the only sack between those two players. Here is Williams moving in the Miller moving in the pocket, throws to the far side. That pass is complete. I don't even know where I pulled Williams out of. He's the fullback on the Alaska offense. Man, off season, man. I'm telling you. Third down and 7. Josh Miller going to have to put the ball in the hands of his receiver to get a first down, and he's going to throw to the near side, and he's got that first down out to the 39-yard line. Giacomo makes his 2nd catch, his first season with Denver, coming over from London after spending 2 seasons there.
All Miller and the rest of this offense has to do is milk some of the clock down. Don't give Cochran too much time on the ball, and just keep playing with high efficiency passes like that.
Handoff, McChesney, and McChesney will fall forward for a yard, as we're going to go under 8 minutes to play in the ball game. Still plenty of time for either of these teams to make a statement here. I'm surprised that Hayapo Kinloa only has 2 catches on the day for being the number 4 overall pick in the draft. He may on this play, though. 4 wide, nobody in the backfield, and Josh Miller's going to go down.
Well, you did
Loss of 5 on the play.
Well, you did say he didn't have a sack. Well, he just came out and said, well, let me go grab this too, just to make sure that I'm the superior one today.
And what was funny about that is Dominguez was coming from the other side. They both beat their man. And if Bain had missed the sack, Dominguez would have definitely picked it up. Miller on 3rd and long almost throws a pick. He underthrew the receiver, and Paul knocked the ball away. And now 4th and 15, another disappointing drive ends for the Denver Nightwings, although they did pick up a first down on this one.
Paul almost making his best BJ Armstrong impression, just jumping the route there, but just couldn't hang on to the ball.
Lily Long on for another punt. This one from her own 20-yard line. That ball is hanging in the air. Good protection, as I say that, the protection breaks down, and all possibility of a return by Jeff Como is lost. Let's take a look at the star player rosters for the Alaska Storm. The back-to-back SFL champions, a combined record of 27-2 in the last 2 seasons. As Ron Cochran stands under center at his own 31-yard line, going right to left. Red helmets, light blue jerseys, dark blue pants, and he's completed a pass to Jeff Como for 4 yards on first down.
That's just a testament to how great Alaska's been over the years, where anytime there's a close game, you get such high viewership simply just because they want to see if the Giant can be felt.
And so far, they haven't fallen yet. They haven't fell yet, at least in about a year. And that's a wobbly pass going the wrong way is Williams, and he eventually gets back to the line of scrimmage and falls forward for a yard. He made something out of nothing there. And, excuse me, that was Robert Merrill on that play.
They've had a very abysmal 3rd down conversion rate so far today. Let's see what they dial up to change their fortune.
It looks like it's going to be a long pass. 4 wide, 3 right, single left. Cochran alone in the backfield. 4-man rush for Denver. Cochran, plenty of time. Moves in the pocket, throws over the middle. Pass complete and out to midfield. First down and more for the Storm. And I couldn't tell who made that catch, but it was a good one.
You just see here, once again, pressure in his face, but someone just busted open a coverage and let the man on the slant go, and that was it. As soon as he saw that he was, after the receiver made a cut and was free, you let the ball go, and that's what you have to do in those situations.
And I should have guessed it was Optimus Klein, but it was Optimus Klein who made the catch. Now 1st and 10 at midfield. Plenty of time for Cochran, but he threw it into triple coverage, trying for Klein again. And Lee knocked the ball away.
It almost looked like the same design same design play, just flipped on the other side, and Denver wasn't falling for it that time. Just had a bit of a cover 3 defense. They had enough defenders on the short hook there, and nowhere to go with the ball there.
And there was about 6 white and black jerseys in the vicinity of that pass, and only 1 sky blue jersey. Maybe not the best throw option there for Cochran, but he's got another chance at it. 2nd down and 10 right at midfield. 5:35 to go and counting in the ball game. Short underneath pass complete. Picking up 4 yards to Como. And now a manageable 3rd down and 6.
You just gotta feel like this is the time where they decide to go onto that deep ball they love to score in the end zone. Let's see. I know this formation.
It's trips left, single right. Cochran Drops back, plenty of time, throws near sideline, caught first down and more, up to the 32-yard line, and streaking to make the catch is Joshua Paul.
Was really looking for that fade off to the outside, just didn't have it. Found another man on the stopgap of the zone there and got the first down. And in this situation, all you need is just a chance.
And that was a great job by Cochran. Going through his progressions, his top receivers weren't open. They were either well covered or double covered. And he went for the option that nobody was covering. And picked up a big first down and almost in field goal range now. And now they're definitely in field goal to double, perhaps triple coverage. Optimus Clyde makes another grab.
Well, you got to see why Cochran has so much faith in even making those throws. Sometimes when you have an absolute machine like Optimus Klein who can catch anything that's thrown his way, you could risk it sometimes.
Now 1st and 10 from the Denver 15-yard line. And off, left side. And 4 yards picked up for Merrill.
Well, this is just an absolute precarious situation. Time is now rolling off the clock for Denver. They need a stop here. They need to balance pressure and coverage here. They can't send too many, but they can't send too few either. They got to figure some way to master packages.
I formation on 2nd and 6. Handoff up the middle. A potential hole. First down. Inside the 5 for Robert Merrill.
They just had to cover one, but it didn't even matter. Merrill just found the hole that was made by, I guess, a defensive end overplaying and just wanting to just absolutely pancake an offensive lineman. Unfortunately, also making the hole for Merrill to run through.
Now 1st and goal, Cochran under center, keeping with the I formation here inside the red zone. Here's the pitch, and Merrill is not going to get there. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's just about it. Great tackle there by Echo Love, along with Logan Mack.
Well, sometimes you might think, well, there's some players on every play overrunning, like that time. Not necessarily. As long as you can keep your running back from going to the outside, you've done your job on the edges.
Same way, same I formation for Alaska on 2nd down and goal. Just a single receiver far side. That's Optimus Klein in a one-on-one matchup. They're going to run it again. This time Merrill can't quite get the edge. Great lateral speed from the Denver defense. It's now 3rd and goal. And we have hit the 2-minute warning in a 2-point game. And the Alaska Storm are looking to put the final nail in the Denver coffin here. When we come back, this is the SFL Preseason on YouTube. Stay with us. Michael Chirillo, Levant Mercer back with you for the final 2 minutes of the game. 3rd down and goal, handoff, and Merrill doesn't get there. He only gets to the 3-yard line. Denver calls a timeout, and they did what they needed to. They held Alaska to a field goal try.
I don't often say this about Alaska, but I don't like the play call there. You know Denver's going to continue sending that house. You know they're going to keep sending that cover one. They've been in it this whole drive, this whole red zone sequence. Could have just killed the play and thrown a pass there. Had a better chance and didn't do it.
Well, Aranza Hood is perfect on the day, and from 20 yards, he looks to remain that way. That kick is up and right down Main Street. 4 for 4. As the rookie has been all of the offense the Alaska Storm need so far in this ball game. It's 12-7.
You know, number 12, Rhonda Hood, with 12 points today. All the points.
And we know how important kickers are in this league. I remember specifically a game last year where Cole Varner scored all the points necessary for Mexico City to win a game against Baltimore. He scored 15 points by himself as the return by Canyon gets up to the 23-yard line.
Honestly, one of the key things in this game that is the main difference is Jackman missing one earlier for Denver.
Still a one-score game if Denver can find the end zone on this drive. 1:50 to go. They may have to use both of their timeouts and employ some up-tempo. But Josh Miller looks to be up to the task. Throws down the seam, almost intercepted. Jimmy Menjivar, he has one interception already today. He was looking for a second pick, but he just bats the ball to the turf.
In this sort of situation, you cannot panic in the pocket like that. I know you've been getting hit all day. I know Josh Miller's been getting hit left and right, but he's got to just manage the situation. Stay calm here.
Still 4 wide, empty backfield. Second down and 10 from their own 23, 1:47 to go. That play only ran 4 seconds off the clock. Immediate pressure for Miller. That time he almost throws another pick. Oh, it's Menjivar again. How has he dropped this one?
I'm not sure. It was right in his hands twice, and the first time it hit his chest, and the second time it was straight in his hands, and he just couldn't put it to his chest and claim it. Not that you want to catch it.
Third down and 10. 4 wide again, plus the tight end Kinloa. Do they send Kinloa out with the rest of the formation? Yes, they do. Miller throws. Caught! First down, Denver at the 45. What a play! James White grabs the football and extends the drive and keeps Denver in this football game.
As you see on this play here, they just had the wrong coverage for this play. As you see, both of those receivers were open. Each picked one. Probably should have picked the other one, but it doesn't matter. It's a first down, and that's what's keeping them alive.
Now Denver down to 1 timeout at their own 45-yard line. This time Miller under center to the receiver's right, single left. Miller, check down. McChesney nowhere to run. Will they use their final timeout? No, they're going to go up-tempo with 1.5 minutes left. Miller looking, throwing down the middle. Caught, first down, past midfield to the Alaska 42. That pass was hauled in by Andrew James White, his second straight catch on the drive. 1:10 to go. Miller long again, into double coverage, looking for Kinloa, and it was knocked away. Clock stops with 1:08 to go.
He had the timing right on that route. He just threw it too hard and too fast, and Kinloa had not enough time to brace for the hit and also grab the ball.
That does stop the clock, and we've got this 4 wide set again, and Kinloa is probably going to go out as a 5th receiver from the tight end slot. 1:08 to go in the ball game. Denver down 5. Wide open receiver far side. That's Joe. Can he get out of bounds? Yes, he can. He can't, however, pick up a first down, and it's going to be 3rd down and inches.
Somewhat unfortunate on the spot there. But all you care about is the clock stopping.
Now remember, because of Kramer Jackman's missed field goal earlier in the game, Denver is down 5 and must score a touchdown to win. They cannot rely on their kicking game. 3rd down and inches. The ball is almost over the line again. Oh, Alaska jumped. It's a free play. They're going to get the first down anyway. The pass was complete to Logan Keel. He would have had the first down had the play not gone away, but let's see what Denver decides to do. And the Nightwings will accept the penalty, and oh, it's Alex Dominguez, the veteran, jumping off sides at the key moment. And Denver extends the drive.
It's just sometimes you just have those jitters, whether it's preseason or not. You want to be the one to be called upon to save the day for your team, and he just kind of jumped early trying to be that guy.
1 minute flat to go from the Alaska 27. This is the best Denver drive of the night, and it comes right at crunch time. It's a pass, and it tipped it incomplete. Great secondary play from Kristen Paul.
I just feel like if you're Alaska there, you want to continue on with the play. You want to see the play to completion. The other defender there just didn't even try to grab the ball. He just watched it hit the turf. You're giving Denver extra chances.
Could have been a game-ending interception, but the ball's still in the hands of the Nightwings. 4 wide receiver set that we've seen so often on this drive. 55 seconds to go in the ball game. Miller with the snap. Miller floats it up. It's tipped and incomplete. He was looking for Kinloa, but he underthrew the receiver, and it was knocked away by Ryan Davidson.
In this situation, once again, every time he just seems to throw in the middle, he does it with a bit of panic. Not enough poise in the pocket there. Probably launched it a little too soon and didn't have enough power under it. Couldn't set his feet to throw.
Ron Cochran chatting from the sidelines, saying, are we playing volleyball? He wants his team to get a pick, seal this game. 3rd down and 10. Miller looking, caught inside the 5, and Denver's inside the 10 rather, and Denver still has a timeout. Great catch, Logan Keel that time. Under 40 seconds to go. Up-tempo offense. And going down is Josh Miller, and they're not going to call a timeout. Left 30 seconds to go. Miller, quick snap again, immediately under pressure. Hit as he throws to the back of the end zone. It's caught! Giacomo Jones, touchdown! Put it on the board. Denver takes the lead with under 30 seconds left.
And the Nightwings swoop this one away from the hands of the Storm. Let's look at it again. They had the Seals contained. He was under pressure, and within that pressure came possibly the victory.
They know what they say, Levant. Pressure makes diamonds. And the Josh Miller-Giacomo Jones connection was crystal clear that time, as they're going for 2 to make it a 3-point game, and McChesney won't get there on the pitch. But it's Denver 13, Alaska 12, 22 seconds to go in the ball game. The Storm do have 3 timeouts. They have big play potential. They have Ron Cochran, a wily veteran back there at quarterback. This game is not over yet. Calm down, everybody. And also, Jeff Como is going to get a chance to return this kick from Kramer Jackman. From the goal line, out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, and to the 29 before he is run down by Logan Mack. Logan Mack has been all over the place for Denver today. He's got at least 3 open field tackles, and he's played good on special teams as well.
And also, let's not forget, Alaska does have last play potential. Last season against Las Vegas, it was the last play in overtime that won them the game.
This almost seems like a reverse situation of the Alaska-Vancouver game from last season, as Cochran tries to find Jose Galliano, and it's incomplete. I see a wild Andrew Hamilton in the chat. Andy, we're talking about your team losing to Alaska last season. And they were in a similar position. A chance to win the game with a touchdown on the final play, and obviously we all know how that went.
You know, it was surprising. It was almost a similar sequence down to the sack.
Here is Cochran looking, throwing, down the field, got one-on-one coverage, and it's picked! Game-sealing interception! Pelican it away and flies the Nightwings to a preseason victory.
That's game, set, and match there. Flying high, it was Pelican to take the ball away, and now the Nightwings are going to go into the night happy.
Get that man a contract. Osiris Pelican and Denver Nightwings with the kneel down are gonna smash and grab a preseason victory from the eye of the storm. Now, this does not count technically as an Alaska loss because it is not a season game. They still retain that 27-2 record over the past 2 seasons, and they haven't lost a game since season 10. But this is a huge step forward for a Denver Nightwings team to come up in the clutch like this. They only won 3 games last season, and it could be a turnaround year in the Mile High City.
You know, if you're Jeremy Vega and the rest of the Nightwings, you've got to be proud of yourself. You might not have played the best game, but you've played for the only result that matters, and that's a win. Whether it matters or not, a win's a win.
They play hard all game, and they got the reward. A last-second touchdown and an interception means that with the last timeout from Alaska, well, they're going to have to punt because Alaska burned all 3 timeouts. So there is a strange world in which this punt is returned, but I think that Lily Long is just going to punt this as far as she can. This will run out time on the clock. Como's going to get a chance at a return. It's snuffed out at the 25-yard line, and that will do it. The Denver Nightwings have shocked the Alaska Storm in Anchorage tonight. Final stats and highlights scrolling across your screen. Levant, first preseason game in the books. How do you feel about it?
Well, it started off pretty slow, and to be honest, if you like defense, this was the game for you. But in the end, it was offense that won the day for the Nightwings with that last big play I've been talking about all game that they just needed to manage to get to win and seal this contest.
That'll do it from us in the booth from Anchorage in the eye of the storm. Your final score, Denver Nightwings 13, Alaska Storm 12. For Levant Mercer and myself, Michael Trillo, it has been a pleasure bringing you this production of the Simulation Football League preseason. Stay tuned, there's 2 more games tonight, 2 games on Saturday, 5 games on Sunday, and a game on Monday. All your SFL you could ever want or need coming at you this weekend. We will see you next time.
See ya.